Okay, we are about to start. Good evening, everyone. This is Manoj Kumar Singh. I'm founder of Ruhe Mohabbat. And today we are going to have live talk with Deepanwita Chakrabarti, who is author of book How to Farewell Your Ex. It's about relationships, right? So soon we are going to have our author here, our guest here, and we are going to talk about the relationships, romance, and if you have hard breakups, then we'll talk about those things and about her book. So before she joins in, let me show you her book. This is her book, How to Farewell Your Ex. Okay, a creative approach towards life. So this is her author. She is going to join us soon. And if you guys have any questions, people who are going to join in, if you have any questions, you can ask in between. So I'll be asking a lot of questions. Yeah. So meanwhile, she is joining. So let me give a brief about what we have been doing at Ruhe Mohabbat. Okay. Recently, since I'm also the founder and author also, so I published my own book also. That is 55 affirmations with your self-help activities. That is on positive affirmations. It has been catered through years of my experience using affirmations, and I have given 55 affirmations, a 55-day challenge for beginners who are looking to bring about a positive change in self and become a better version of themselves into my book. And there each day you can read my affirmations that I have given. That is either one affirmation or some sets of short affirmations there for that day. You can read it, reflect on it, and write your own. So that way you are going to bring about a change in yourself. And I have mentioned some guidelines there, how to use that book, and even given a brief about affirmations, what are they, inner peace, and all those things. I have mentioned it there. So that's what my new book is all about. It is available on Kindle. Right now we have published the ebook, and soon the paperback is going to be available too. And you can even read my book free of cost at Kindle Unlimited. And it is for a few days. I have kept it there, and then we'll move on. So those who have Kindle Unlimited, they can use this option. Yeah. Let's see where's Deepanwita. We are waiting. Just 1 second. Yes. So our author has joined. Good evening, Deepanwita. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I'm also good. Today I have lots of questions to ask to
Oh,
you. Okay. How come? How are you? You just returned from your work, right?
yes. I just returned from my work.
Okay, so before we move forward, it's our way to introduce, right? I have already introduced myself, but I want my author to be introduced, the person whom I'm going to talk. So, Deepanvita, tell us something about you.
I am an advocate and I am an aspiring author as well. And what I want through my writing is just I want to reach people's heart, and I want people to understand what is important. And the most important thing what I am trying through my book is like people should not feel alone. That is the main motive when they are heartbroken or they are feeling something like uh, that I alone unable to do like what should I say? Like if I see, I may find myself alone at certain critical point of time. So I don't want another person to be at the same point. So I just want through my writing to be there on their side. That is the main motive of my writing. Like they shouldn't feel alone. And but rest from on the other side, I'm an advocate. So
Yes, exactly. So, first question, Deepanwita, to you. How come the advocate keeps on writing on the excess? How is it so? I have already read two books, right? This is the second book
okay,
on your ex,
yeah,
and you already had a first book on X, right? This X has been your inspiration, I think so. So my first question is, I'm in love with my ex, right?
yeah.
That was the first book that I read on your ex, and now how to farewell your ex. So tell me, how come this advocate keeps on writing on X?
Actually, what happened is both the things are very, they are not related to each other. But while I was writing, I knew this question will come up to me like, why X is there everywhere with you? Actually, what happened is when I was in my college, I wrote that story at that point of time. I
Yeah,
sent that story in a competition and it got rejected. Obvious, that's an obvious thing. Rejections come, and
yeah,
that got rejected. And that point of time, I thought rather than just letting it go, I can publish it in Kindle. So
uh-huh.
I published it there. And
Okay,
after that, when the lockdown started, I thought I should write something. Uh, See, at that point of time when I was writing that book, I was going from a very bad phase in my life, and the lockdown also came. So it was like a lot of trauma going on. So I thought rather than sitting and crying and being upset, I should use it in a positive way so that some other person don't end up crying. That is the main motive.
yes,
So
yes.
they are divergent. Both things are very different, but it collided anyway, coincidentally.
Yes, exactly. Because I have read your book, and in a chapter where you have mentioned that you will keep on remembering your ex, you will want to go back to your ex, right? And the first
Yeah,
book is actually a type of
yeah,
that, right? Where you are
yeah,
craving to go back to your ex, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right. So the character, the protagonist there is actually craving to go back to the ex, and here you are telling people, have control of yourself, have control of your life, and don't go back. And when you're saying that you were going through tough time in your own life, you have to be tough mentally to actually pen those things down and share it with the world, right? Because there are people who will be dissecting you. Okay, this is what she's doing, and this is what not. So, has ever somebody questioned you on this part, that why are you disclosing these things out there, or somebody has told you something about that? Any negative question, or even positive remark, or things to you?
See, positive remarks I have received, but negative till now, nobody have asked me like why you have written this, like
Mhm.
why on X, why sharing something. But in case somebody asks me that why are you
Mhm.
sharing this,
Mhm.
where anyone can judge you and you are
Yeah.
just opening your personal stuff to people. It's like, see, firstly, it may sound rude, but it's my choice. I will, of course, I can if I want. I can open that to others. Second thing is like, see, uh, what my experiences is of if I am just not using it in a positive way. See,
Yes.
if I have suffered something, I of course don't want others to go in the, they are suffering the same thing. I can see that they are suffering the same thing, but if I don't end up being helpful to anyone, so my experience is nil. So I thought, it should be something like, see, I have experienced a heartbreak. I cried, and that's it. That's no use of that experience. So it's better, sharing with some other people so that they don't feel like, oh my God, I am unable to share it with someone, or, I cannot talk about that with my parents or someone. That happens most of the time.
Exactly.
We, at certain point, we are unable to share things with our parents.
Yes, yes.
So they end up being alone. They are feeling like, what should I do? And they may end up taking wrong decisions as well. So I thought, at least अगर एक person को help मिल जाता है, that is fine. I did something good, positive out of the negative thing.
Yes, exactly. So, यहाँ पे one of our audiences, she's saying, Dipanjali, you have inspired
Yeah,
women not
yeah,
to
yeah.
feel lonely without being with the one whom you love. It is hard, but letting it go helps to understand and realize self-worth. Yes, exactly. And okay, so I have a lot of questions for you. So, tell me one thing. You have talked about being into one relationship and then you got into another relationship, and again the same effect, right? Again, heart broke. So, how difficult it has been to again trust other person now, because there are few people who are not affected at all, right? Okay, ठीक है यार, it's ended, let's move on. It's easy for them. I don't know how they have framed that ideology in their head, and it is easy for them. But most of us are emotional being, and we go through this time period. So how easy or how difficult it has been to trust other person, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got the question. What happens is, it becomes tough to trust people. But like, see, when I had my first relationship, I was like, इसी से शादी करेंगे, चाहे ये कहाँ भी हो, कैसे भी रहे, whoever he is living wherever he is, 1 BHK, whatever it is, I will marry him. The main motive, because I was very young. I was
Uh-huh.
what, 18, I guess 17 or 18 years old. So I was very young, and I had this idea to, have a wonderful wedding. My ideology then and now, it have changed a lot. At that point of time, I was like, शादी करना है, and right now my ideology is शादी नहीं करना है. Right? Like, even if it happens, it will not be
Yeah.
like I will give up my career in no
Uh-huh.
cost, like in no way. If the other person or anybody asks me that you have to leave your job, I will say bye, just go. I cannot.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then again, what is happening is, if the other person is like, you have to do this to get me, I will say like, just go. Because why would I leave something I like, or I like love, for somebody, like, who do not care about me personally. So I just have this trust issue as well now. At that point of time, I didn't have. I used to trust people like blindly.
Mm-hmm.
I have lot of, like, the overthinking is there. If
Mm.
somebody is telling me something, I just don't get those words like directly in a straight way. I used to think like, why is he or she telling me this? What can the other possible options available to him for which he or she is lying to me? I
Mm.
have this thing in my head that that person is lying in the first
Okay.
place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is like obvious because when someone ditches the other person, with time you think that, this is the only thing people will do with you. You
Yes.
cannot trust people that easily.
Yes, it becomes,
So it
yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, tell me one more thing. So, being an advocate, studying law and practicing it, has it helped you in any way to have a rational thought process? Because an advocate has to be rational and logical all the time, because you have to go by the rules and by the law. And if this thing is happening, why is that thing has happened? You have to put evidences and all those things together. being a law professional, has that anyhow helped you come out of it?
uh, what has happened is when I joined as an intern, I used to be like, you know, what I see, I believed it. In the papers also, or in the court, if somebody is saying that this is it, I used to be like, oh my god, she's telling this, she's right, the other person have obviously committed that thing, but my senior used to tell me, have a unbiased and neutral thought, like listen to both the parties, listen to everyone, and then bring out an opinion. And then again, you are an advocate and not a judge, so you just don't pass judgments, listen to people and understand.
Hmm.
And it has helped me a lot because, you know what I used to do was, I used to think in from one side, like I am thinking about me, like I am hurting myself, this is happening to me. I
Hmm.
never thought like what must have happened to the other person,
Hmm.
or why he had done that. So it used to help me a lot to, not self harming myself by overthinking at times. Like right now, I used to stop myself thinking a lot, like just rather than going steps ahead of overthinking and thinking like why he has done this and why. I used to like, fine, if he or she has done this, fine. I later on, when I have my chance, I will ask him or ask her. If he or she has an answer, fine. If no, it's okay. I cannot keep on harming myself again and again.
Yes.
Everybody have their own choices in their life.
Exactly. You have made a boundary now, right?
Yeah.
This boundary. So, okay. One question that is quite blunt, and you have even mentioned in it, right? That once you have broken up, you have a chapter which says, "Can we still remain friends?" Right? This is a very difficult question, and way you have put up here, that means you have gone through a lot of thought process in it. You have put a lot of thought process in it, and can two people who have broken up remain a friend? So here my question is that, because in your book it is like one person has ditched the other person, and that's where breaking up of the relationship happened, right? Whereas, let's say two people mutually they agree that we want to separate, right? Now they are no more into any relationship. They are no more a couple, right? So now the question implies: can they still remain friends?
See, I will give my opinion. My opinion will be just, why to harm yourself again and again. See, at one point of time, I have loved that person. So I, from my point of view, will not ever want that person's, seeing around the someone else, another woman.
Yeah.
That will definitely hurt me. But if there are so many things. So the what happens is, like, see, if I have broken up now and I choose to be friends with him now,
Hmm.
things will be like I will be hurting myself. But maybe with time, with passage of time, after 1 or 2 years, rather than holding on the grudge, I may find like, let's be friends. It's completely on my viewpoint, or on that time. Like, see, वो भी दोस्त थे इसलिए मुझे भी बनना चाहिए. That is like, you are seeing that person and you are trying so hard to hold on to that person. It is not right. But
Yeah.
if you think, I am moving on in my life, just let him move also, and let's not just hold the grudge, we can be friends. That
Hmm.
is a different thing. What we sometimes do is to, with the urge to mend our heart, what we do is, start finding options to get in touch with that person, like let's be friends, or चलो कोई बात नहीं, घूमने तो जा रहे हैं, friends है, चलो कोई बात नहीं. But it just do not end like that. You cannot be friends in the, how can you be friends with someone you loved? That is the main thing. You will again be in a position where, you are begging, like, let's, patch up.
Hmm.
And if you end up seeing that the other person is saying, no, we are broken, it's over, then you will feel so, humiliated again. So it's better not to get into that part, you're hurting your hurt again and again.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
your choice. I can give my opinion. The other person, if he or she wants, I cannot force that person. You are open to do
Hmm.
whatever you like, but I myself will not choose to be friend with that person.
Okay. Yeah, different people have different opinion and the
Yeah.
level of abstrain they can put on themselves, right? And so here comes my another question. That usually, again, it is said that love starts with friendship, right? It is opposite of this question. Can we still remain friends, right? Once you are into a
Yeah.
romantic relationship, can you go back to that friendship, right? Because it is said that once you were a friend and then you became lovers or you had a romantic relationship. I have never seen someone have a romantic relationship just on a go. Okay, yeah, see, I have
Yeah.
seen this person, and love at first sight wala baat, I don't think it is
Yeah.
obvious in this time of age that we live in. Very few, it may be 0.001% possibility that that might happen, that both people may feel about each other and have mutual respect. But majority of time, it's like someone is handsome or beautiful, and then they fall for each other, right? Let's have a friendship, and then mutual. Then again, it converts into romantic relationship. So, how about that? If this is a consideration, if a person had been into a friendship relationship first, and then that converts into a romantic relationship, and then the breakup happens, then can it revert back to friendship?
uh, it's like what those two people wants. What happens is when two people break up, they search for answers. They at one point want to hold on to that person,
Mm.
and at that again they want, like, I cannot hold on to that person, I cannot be friends because I already had a romantic relationship with that person. So I will say that those people should be given time to
Mm.
understand, like, what they want, actually what they want.
Yes.
And they should never force each other on themselves. Like, sometimes what happens is the other person don't wants to be with you in a friendship relationship, in a
Mhm.
be friends with you, and the other person is like, no, we were friends, no, I cannot just end this thing. Like, we
Yeah.
had a relationship, it didn't work out, I don't want to end it like that, I want to be friends with you. So
Mm.
this force shouldn't be there, because wherever things come as force, it do not work anyway. Like, after 1 or 2 months, this friendship eventually will end, because the feelings are colliding with each other.
Yes.
One wants to be friends, the other person do not wants to be friends. So,
Mm.
as you have said, the mutual thing should be there. If
Yes.
two people wants to be with each other, they should. And if they don't want, they should just give space to each other. Maybe at some point of time in their life in the future, they may
Mm.
again be friends. But jab, someone is at pain, this pain thing is a very strong emotion.
Yes.
उस टाइम में डिसीजन नहीं लेना चाहिए बिल्कुल ही, कि नहीं, हम तो कभी फ्रेंड्स नहीं बन सकते.
Mm.
उस टाइम पे जस्ट गिव स्पेस, टाइम थोड़ा सा, देन यू नो डिसीजन दोनों को आराम से लो. कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि अभी लेना है.
Yes.
Just think, and if you find it कि okay, we can be friends, be friends, don't force yourself into it.
Yes, never rush, right? When you
Yes.
are witnessing a breakup, never rush your thought
Yeah.
process. So, and you have
Yes.
explained it here in your book. You have talked about it, how important it is to take a break from a relationship and do not complicate life, right? And then you have a chapter on drinking, and that is about being addicted or abusing yourself with these products, right? So, talk us through that, because you are an advocate also, and abusing oneself is also illegal, right? Being addicted. Talk us through that.
See, I'm not a person who drinks a lot. Maybe sometimes my friends ask me, like, "Do you want to have it?" That's fine. But I had a partner who used to drink heavily.
Oh.
And yes, what he did was, sometimes what happened, once that happened and it scared me a lot. He got drunk and he called me. He was rash driving in his bike,
Hmm.
and it was, and while he was drunk and driving very fast, he was talking to me in mobile phone, and I was like, what should I do? He's not listening, he's not ending the call. If I just cut the phone, he is repeatedly calling me again. And while that point of time, he is driving a bike, and I was so furious, like, what is this? Why you are just in a point, like, see, that person didn't accept it, that he is not in a very good point in his life.
Hmm.
Everyone suffers a situation in their life where they find themselves so vulnerable. It
Yeah.
happens in a struggling
Yes.
period of time when there is loss of money or loss of support or whatever it is. They are in a position where they're suffering this thing, that
Exactly.
loneliness, or they are not able to find answers. Everybody have that. I also had that. Every other person have that.
Hmm.
So you know holding this drinking as an option, to avoid those scenarios, is not right, because ultimately you are harming yourself and the other person as well. Like, see, if
Hmm.
he had not been drunk, he would have just peacefully went home and slept. Fine, accepting your problems and your situations is very important. Why deny it? Why say that, I'm fine, I don't have any problem? Why
Hmm.
not say that, yes, I am suffering from this problem and I want to face it, I want to solve it? Why
Hmm.
deny it?
Yes.
Should not deny it.
Exactly.
And
So yeah.
this drinking thing is, very, it has become very normal in India. Not only drinking, people do drugs as well as an option. Like, see, nobody loves drinking. They are like, they loves the, the place they reach by doing so. Like, they drinking, they are in a position like, fine, I know, I don't have any problem, I'm fine. Or they do drugs because they reach a place where they find peace. So they are ultimately searching for happiness or peace for few moments. So
Uh,
why not go straightly have it?
Yeah, exactly. But again, the thing with the drugs and all those things is feeling high, right? It's an
Yeah,
escape thing. It's like an escape
yeah,
thing. People
yeah,
do not want to stand up and be accounted for. Many of times, it is peer pressure also, and
yeah,
I have seen while I was in my college time, I had seen that some of our seniors they would take our some of our friends, right, classmates, out for smoking, right? And let's say someone who has not smoked before or had cigarette, a couple of times they get it free from their seniors, and then voila, now the senior has a junior who is buying a cigarette. Sir, chalo, let's have a puff. And that's how these type of addictions even start, because it
start.
becomes a
Yeah,
passion. It's passion, right?
yeah,
And when this passion turns into an addiction, nobody knows. It's about being mindful what you are taking in your body. So very few people are actually mindful of that thing. In chapter 21 in your book, you talk about always choosing the wrong person. That's a chapter heading. And you have put a question: is there any queue of wrong people? That is one self-blame thing, right? मेरे
yeah.
साथ ही क्यों हो रहा है? Why am I
Huh.
the one who is always choosing wrong people, right? Because you have been heartbroken, you have been betrayed by people around you, and this question comes up in your mind, right? So talk us through about this chapter. What do you want to talk about in it?
See, what happens is, when a relationship, breakup happens, what we think is, दोबारा से होगा ये. Same thing will happen again. See, I have met one person. We were communicating, and he was like, whatever this is, I can talk with you, but don't expect a relationship from me. So I was like, man, you are talking with me for what? You were just like communicating and there is nothing. So I asked him why do you have this type of idea? And he was like, I used to love a girl, and I used to love her dedicatedly, and we broke up ultimately.
Okay.
So I can go for anything, but no relationship because I don't want to be vulnerable again the way I was at that point of time. So see, this is a denial, no? You are ultimately denying the most the most obvious thing. What you are expecting, that you will end up alone the rest of the life, because see, ultimately you will end up marrying someone, no?
Yes.
किसी ना किसी के साथ तो you have to go ना. Or
Hmm.
if you don't, like, see, then you will feel lonely. So rather than be like, अगर मैं किसी के साथ रिलेशनशिप रखूंगा तो वो तो बेकार ही हो जाएगा. That is, who knows? You don't know, I don't know, nobody knows that
Yeah.
what will happen. So
Yes.
why think the negative way? Whatever will happen anyway. Like if I think that this person is going to be wrong, अगर वो बेकार हुआ तो वो बेकार ही होगा. And if I
Exactly.
think that person is a right person, अगर उसको right होना होगा तब भी right होगा, नहीं होना होगा तब भी नहीं होगा. So
Hmm.
rather than thinking and with a negative thought, if you start anything with a negative thought, no, ultimately you are pushing yourself into negativity,
Hmm.
and ultimately you may end up ending the relationship because you don't believe the person anyway.
Yes.
So I guess there is no wrong person. Sometimes wrong choices do take place, wrong
Hmm.
choices are there, but ultimately it is giving you lessons, life lessons, so that you can help people. Like, see, if I had not been gone through those miserable point of time, I
Hmm.
wouldn't have been so strong, or I wouldn't have been seeing things in a wider way. Like,
Hmm.
ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है. I
Hmm.
wouldn't be thinking like that.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be more independent. That is the
Yes.
thing.
You chose to ponder on things, what happened in your life, right? But most of the
Yeah.
people, they actually victimize themselves, and
Yes.
they stop thinking in a rational way. They do not take time for themselves. They do not take time to heal, and rather they victimize themselves, and then things happen, right? And so I'm getting some requests from people out here who want to join in discussion. So let me tell you guys. I'm very sorry, but this is one-on-one talk with our author Deepanwita, and it's about her book and how what she has shared in the book, and why she has shared those things in the book. We are talking about those things. So we cannot have a group discussion right now, but you can DM me, and we can plan for a group discussion live. So this is currently only dedicated to Deepanvita and her book. So Deepanvita, अभी एक इसके साथ question आता है. So the next question is that am I continuously finding wrong people, or या फिर I'm so prone to being cheated, right? You have a chapter 28, where you talk about why do people cheat, right? Cheating. Why do people cheat? So
Yeah. See,
yes, seriously, this is
there
an
are,
important question, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, this is, you know, this is such a vulnerable feeling. Like, if you are getting cheated, it's such a vulnerable feeling. The only question that arises in your mind is why? Like, why? And the only answer you find is, am I not enough? I guess I'm not enough for the person.
Hmm.
So what happens is, there are many, there are people, there are many types of people. Some people, like, who just don't find themselves in a point, like, dedicating themselves to the person, like your partner. कुछ लोग
Hmm.
ऐसे होते हैं जो होते, लाइक, कई बार हम बोलते नहीं है कि ये ऐसा क्यों है.
Hmm.
कुछ लोग होते ऐसे हैं, बट देयर आर सिचुएशंस ऑल्सो. आई डोंट पर्सनली जज पीपल. लाइक, अगर उसने चीट किया है तो अच्छा, दिस इज अ वेरी पुअर पर्सन. कई बार होता है लाइफ में, सिचुएशंस आते हैं, लाइक यू आर अनेबल टू टैली विथ योर पार्टनर. और कई
Hmm.
बार पार्टनर भी ऐसे होते हैं. सी, आई एम नॉट advertising cheating. It's a very, very wrong thing. It's a very wrong thing. But then again, because I am an advocate, I am not going to have a biased judgment like, अच्छा, इसने cheat किया है तो बहुत बुरा इंसान है. I will not say that. लाइफ में बहुत कुछ होता है, बहुत सारी चीजें होती है, rather than accusing someone bluntly,
Hmm.
इट्स बेटर कि आप दोनों को बिठाओ और आप पूछो कि क्यों, आपने ये चीज क्यों किया। जब आप पूछते हो rather than denying that, आप फेस करो। मैं आई विल आस्क पीपल कि इवन इफ यू आर डूइंग समथिंग, फेस इट, डोंट
Hmm.
हाइड। आप क्यों कर रहे हो वो चीज। आई हैड बिन इन अ रिलेशनशिप जहाँ पे somebody cheated, so
Hmm.
वो बहुत ही, and that person was like so blunt, like उसने किया था वो, उसने मुझे बता भी दिया, एंड आई वाज लाइक स्टिल ऑन हिम। मुझे मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि फाइन, होगा, मेरी गलती होगी, मेरी गलती
Ah.
होगी। सी, ही इज चीटिंग, गलती मेरी है, मुझे लग रहा है आई एम द पर्सन हु इज द फॉल्टी वन। सो
Hmm.
ऐसे लोगों को आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते, जो इंटेंशनली ऑन द फेस दे आर सेइंग दैट मैं चीट कर रहा हूँ। कुछ लोग रिसेंट में आई हैव सीन मेनी पीपल
Hmm.
जो ये करते हैं
Ah.
कि वो बोल के करते हैं सामने वाले को। आई हैव बिन अराउंड पीपल जिसने मुझे ये बताया है
Ah.
अबाउट देयर फ्रेंड्स एंड पीपल कि वो लोग क्या करते हैं। हम लोग क्लियर है, जो लड़की के साथ वी आर
Ah.
हैविंग अ रिलेशनशिप,
Ah.
आई एम वेरी क्लियर दैट आई एम मैरिड और आई एम हैविंग अ रिलेशनशिप विद अनदर वुमन,
Hmm.
एंड ठीक है, हमारा अलग रिलेशनशिप है। ये क्या है, व्हाट इज दिस।
Exactly.
ये
Coming to this thing, I have a question, and this is something that you have mentioned in your chapter, one of the chapters, that is friends with benefit, right?
yeah
People become
yeah
friends with benefit or hookups,
yeah
and now this is also a thing, phenomena that is present in the society. People hush about
yeah
it, though they don't talk about it, but in the end, there are many who are doing it, right? So
yeah
you have tried to put those issues also out there, and you just told that these things are there. People are in relationship even though they are married, and or they are already in any other relationship. And these are Western concepts, right? Open relationship, wala cheez. Before this, still remember when this Facebook came along, right? And it talked about your relationship status, right? And we wouldn't know, right? Many a times what happened, people would put it as complicated or open
yeah
relationship. Then we will do Google search. What do you mean by this thing, right? So then you come to know, oh boy, oh, these things are Western concepts. And in our culture or in India, still people have not come up with this. And now the modern society, we are we are seeing these things happening right around us. We know it. People are secretly doing these things. So talk us through it. And because you have raised the issue, it is important thing. And you talk about the negatives of it, because life becomes complicated. If you're already in
yeah
relationship or you are already married, you are cheating the person who loves you, and at the same time think about how much you are going to hurt the person. And if you have a child or you have children, then what is going to happen to those children mentally? It is abusing them mentally, emotionally. So tell us about that. Tell us your thoughts on that.
मैं हिंदी में बोल देती हूँ, थोड़ा सा मेरे
Yes,
लिए कंफर्ट रहेगा। या
yes, exactly. You go ahead.
एक्चुअली होता क्या है, कई बार ना हम चीजों से भागने की कोशिश करते हैं बहुत ज्यादा।
Hmm. Hmm.
वी आर रनिंग फ्रॉम इट। लाइक कई बार ये होता है, जब मेरी एक गर्लफ्रेंड थी, आई वॉज सो फन, थिंग्स वर सो फन, सो नाइस, सो ब्यूटिफुल। जैसे ही मैरिज में वो चेंज हो गया, वो रिलेशनशिप, वो हैप्पीनेस, वो फन मोड, वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी में बदल गया।
Hmm.
अब व्हेन दैट पर्सन इज सेइंग कि अब ये तो मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हो गई, अब ये जिम्मेदारी है, वो चीजें धीरे धीरे करके, मतलब जो चीज बहुत हैप्पीनेस था, वो धीरे धीरे करके, क्योंकि कम्युनिकेशन गैप हो जाती है, कम्युनिकेशन गैप वो अल्टीमेटली वो हो ही जाती है, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट ऑलवेज इन अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट
Hmm.
सामने वाले के साथ।
Hmm.
कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जब रिलेशनशिप हो तो हम साथ में रहते भी तो नहीं है ना।
Hmm.
जब साथ में रहने लगते हैं, काफी चीजें हमें पता चलती है कि अच्छा ये भी है, ये भी है, तो पता ही नहीं था। तो काफी बार वो गैप्स क्रिएट हो जाती है। तो वो गैप्स जितनी क्रिएट होती रहेगी, डिस्टेंस उतना बढ़ता जाता है, दो पीपल के बीच में डिस्टेंस बढ़ता जाता है, कम्युनिकेशन कई बार कम भी हो जाती है, और हम वी आर स्टिल क्रेविंग फॉर व्हाट वी वांट। हम तो क्रेव कर रहे हैं, बट वहां पे तो कम्युनिकेशन गैप हो गई ना। फ्रस्ट्रेशन, अब फ्रस्ट्रेशन भी आ जाएगी, बिकॉज वी आर वर्किंग, एवरीबडी इज वर्किंग। तो वर्क के वहां पे भी एवरीथिंग इज नॉट ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव ना, हमेशा पॉजिटिव चीजें तो नहीं चल रही है। जब काम पे भी जा रहे हैं, काफी चीज फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग भी हो जाती है, फिर हम घर आते हैं, वहां भी फ्रस्ट्रेशन है। तो कई बार हम क्या ट्राई करते हैं कि नहीं, एक वे कि हाँ यहाँ मेरा रिलीफ है, तो हम वो चीज सर्च करने निकल जाते हैं, फिर हम भूल जाते हैं कि हम इतने सेल्फिश हो गए कि वी हैव एक्टेड फॉर समथिंग विच इज इन द फेस इट इज रॉन्ग। हम कई बार, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट जो मतलब लाइक वो यही करते हैं, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट पीपल जो कई बार मिस्टेकनली उनको ये लगता है कि नहीं, ये करके देखते इसमें हमें खुशी मिल रही है। लाइक सी, घर में रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, बाहर कोई बंदा जा रहा है, वहां पे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है, तो दे आर लाइक ठीक है, यहाँ पे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है, यहाँ पे सेटिस्फेक्शन है, यहाँ पे हैप्पीनेस है, क्यों ना जब तक चल रहा है चलने देते हैं। एक्चुअली हमारा वांट क्या है, हमारा वांट है हैप्पीनेस, थोड़ी देर के लिए हैप्पीनेस तो मिल रही है ना। तो उस थोड़ी देर के हैप्पीनेस के लिए हम इतना सेल्फिश हो जाते हैं कि हम फिर वही हम रियलिटी से भाग रहे हैं। हम ये नहीं सोच रहे कि चलो वहां जो मेरे पार्टनर के साथ गैप है, वो मैं गैप कट कर देता हूँ, मैं उससे बात करता हूँ, मैं जानने की कोशिश करता हूँ कि हुआ क्या है। वो इट्स अ लॉन्ग प्रोसेस, इट इज गोइंग टू टेक टाइम। तो रेदर देन दैट हम क्या करते हैं, शॉर्ट टर्म में चले जाते हैं, चलो उसमें क्या है, लड़की है, रिलेशनशिप रख लेते, क्या प्रॉब्लम है। जब तक वाइफ को नहीं पता चल रहा तब तक कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना, ये भी एक पॉइंट है। पीपल डू ऑफ दिस, वाइफ हो या फिर पार्टनर हो, दे थिंक लाइक जब तक नहीं पता चल रहा है तब तक क्या प्रॉब्लम है, एवरीबडी इज हैप्पी। बट अल्टीमेटली थिंक अबाउट योर सेल्फ। लोग करते हैं, आई हैव हर्ड पीपल की वाइफ को तो नहीं पता चल रहा ना, सब खुश है
हाँ
साथ में, सब बड़ा
हाँ
परिवार बनता जा रहा है, सब खुश है।
हाँ,
बट
जब तक पकड़ में नहीं आए चोर नहीं हुए, राइट।
हाँ, बट सी,
एग्जैक्टली। हाँ
चीटिंग इज चीटिंग एंड थेफ्ट इज थेफ्ट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग, क्योंकि ये तुम्हारी इंटेंशन की बात है।
यस
वो
यस।
तुमने क्या सोच के करा है, तुम्हारी इंटेंशन क्या थी। वो अगर सी, इट इज नॉट अबाउट कि हाँ कोई इंटीमेट हो रहा है तभी वो चीट कर रहा है, वो तो लीगल डेफिनेशन होगी कि हाँ भाई, लीगल डेफिनेशन के अनुसार टू पर्सन आर हैविंग इंटीमेट रिलेशनशिप तभी वो इट इज। अब तो खैर एडल्ट्री भी इट्स नॉट अ क्राइम, बट स्टिल वो आप बोल सकते हो कि हाँ तब सामने वाला चीट कर रहा है। बट आपकी इंटेंशन क्या थी जब आप सामने किसी लड़की से या लड़के से बात कर रहे थे। मॉरल मॉरल वे में तो हम वही देखेंगे ना। इफ आई एम सीइंग
एग्जैक्टली।
समबडी विद अ बैड इंटेंशन, आई एम टॉकिंग विद समवन विद अ बैड इंटेंशन, दैट इज चीटिंग, बिकॉज यू आर अवॉइडिंग योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टूवर्ड्स योर वाइफ। एंड आप छोटे 2 मिनट की खुशी के लिए यू आर जस्ट, यू नो, जो इतनी मेहनत करके आपने, लव इज नॉट लाइक 2 मिनट की चीज, उसमें बहुत इन्वेस्टमेंट जाती है,
एग्जैक्टली।
बहुत इन्वेस्टमेंट जाती है। तो वो
एग्जैक्टली।
सारी चीज आप 2 मिनट की खुशी के लिए गवा के यू आर गोइंग फॉर समवन, जो कल को ये भी हो सकता है दैट अदर पर्सन फॉल्स फॉर यू। तब तब हाउ विल यू आंसर योर सेल्फ, हाउ विल यू आंसर दैट पर्सन एंड योर वाइफ। चीजें और बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाती है। हो सकता है दैट पर्सन रिजेक्शन जो है वो बहुत अच्छे से ना ले, अगर यू आर सेइंग दैट अब खत्म कर देते हैं बिकॉज थिंग्स आर गेटिंग कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, अब खत्म कर देते हैं। अगर वो पर्सन बोले नहीं मुझे नहीं खत्म करना, व्हाट विल यू डू। ये सारी चीजें हम सोचते ही नहीं है। हमें सोचते हैं कि चलो 2 मिनट की खुशी, 2 मिनट की खुशी, 2 मिनट की खुशी, 2 मिनट बाद क्या करोगे वो तो सोच लो। 2 मिनट बाद तो तुम यू विल गेट क्रेजी जब आपको आंसर देना पड़ता है। कई बार आई हैव सीन पीपल लाइक दे अवॉइड ब्लंटली। काफी बार मैंने ये लोगों को ये भी देखा है कि दे डोंट फील सॉरी फॉर व्हाट दे आर डूइंग। वो सॉरी फील ही नहीं करते, वो फील
हाँ
ही नहीं करते। और दे आर लाइक कि कोई बात नहीं, गलत नहीं है इसमें, अपने आप को पर्दे में रख दिया है। उनको लगता है कि वो ठीक करे, वो आंसर नहीं करते अपने आप को, उस क्वेश्चन को ही अवॉइड कर देते हैं कि ये चीज ना गलत है, इस क्वेश्चन को आंसर ही नहीं करते। दे आर लाइक मुझे खुशी मिल रही है ना, तो लेट इट बी। तो ये बहुत ही शॉर्ट टर्म ये चीज जो है नहीं करना चाहिए लोगों को। दिस इज
एग्जैक्टली।
लाइक आंसर योर सेल्फ।
यस यस तो दीपनविता हमारे लास्ट 15 मिनट्स बचे हैं हम थोड़ा सा
Okay.
फास्ट जाएंगे अभी
Yeah,
ठीक
yeah.
है सो एज यू टोल्ड आपके बुक में आप यू हैव ब्यूटिफुली डिस्क्राइब्ड कि व्हाट हैपेंस वंस you are heartbroken, right? You remorse, you grieve, you try to grieve, you feel lonely, and whatnot. You are going through different stages. Then now let's get that trying to get your life back, right? You have mentioned in a series of chapters where you have tried to put forward what steps you took, right? Because any normal person in today's time would actually, if is trying to put their life together, you went through dating app, you're blocking the person, right? This is something really something I find, let's say, it's not only about romantic relationship, but it could be any other type of relationship also. Right, you are in a professional relationship. There also cheating happens, right? A person has cheated you on your profession and has promised something and has not delivered. Then you block and you do not talk to the person because you don't want to be cheated again. It disturbs your mental health, right? So these things you have mentioned, dating app you have mentioned, and then you have talked about again drugs we have already taken. So you've talked about pornography, right? This is again
Yeah.
the thing that it goes about here, and so and again talking to the parents, right? Talk us through this series that getting back to a normal life. Tell us your thoughts on it.
हाँ, ये जो टॉपिक्स है लाइक हुकअप्स फ्रेंड्स विद बेनिफिट्स एंड पोर्नोग्राफी, ये वाले टॉपिक्स आई हैव चूज स्पेसिफिकली बिकॉज हम इंडिया में ये वाले क्वेश्चंस के जवाब नहीं मिलता हमें। हमें
Exactly.
सीधा चप्पल मिलते हैं, चप्पल
Hmm,
मिलते हैं, ये
hmm.
क्वेश्चन कैसे पूछ लिया तुमने, जो कि
Yes,
नहीं होना चाहिए।
exactly.
अगर पेरेंट्स या बिकॉज पेरेंट्स जवाब नहीं देंगे, हम फ्रेंड्स के पास जाएंगे, फ्रेंड्स के पास जाएंगे, फ्रेंड्स ऐसे जवाब देंगे
Hmm.
कि उसका फिर आपको लगा अच्छा ये है। इट्स
Ah,
बेटर कि पेरेंट्स के साथ आपकी वो बात हो, ताकि
yes.
आप फ्रेंड्स के पास ना जाओ, क्योंकि फ्रेंड्स आपको उल्टी सीधी ही चीजें बोलेंगी। इससे बेटर आप पेरेंट्स के पास जाओ।
नहीं नहीं, अच्छे
तो
अच्छे फ्रेंड्स भी होते हैं, ऐसी बात नहीं है। दे अंडरस्टैंड।
अच्छे फ्रेंड्स बहुत कम होते हैं। आपके दो अच्छे फ्रेंड, तीन बुरे फ्रेंड की पता है क्या होता है कि हम जो है ना, जो चीज लोग हमें नहीं बताते, हमें वही चीज जाननी है। अच्छा इसने
जी,
ये नहीं बताया, हमें यही जानना है। बट
एग्जैक्टली।
आपका सोर्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन कई बारी बहुत वोलाटाइल होती है। तो
यस
इसी वजह से मैंने ये टॉपिक्स इसमें यूज किया, ताकि कि ऐसा ना लगे कि इस टॉपिक के बारे में बात करने के लिए मेरे पास कोई नहीं है।
यस एंड
इसी दैट इज द ओनली रीजन।
हाँ, और इसमें सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट कि आपने जो बात कही है अगेन अपनी जिंदगी को, लाइफ को वापस ट्रैक में लाने की कोशिश में, व्हेन यू आर एक्सपोजिंग योरसेल्फ टू टुडेस डेटिंग ऐप या फिर सोशल मीडिया में किसी और के साथ आप इंटीमेट हो रहे हो, बात कर रहे हो, या यू आर शेयरिंग योर थिंग्स, आज के डेट में दीज आर ऑल्सो लीडिंग पीपल टू एक्सपोज टू साइबर क्राइम्स, and
यस
that is also hurting people. So आपके सबसे अच्छे friends आपके parents ही हैं, right? And again, but again, the problem is uh, आज से 15 to 20 years back the social network उतना नहीं था, and our parents when they were growing up they had different culture or environment, right? Different environment and thought process that they still have. Majority of the people or majority of us have parents who live in that time. They have that mindset, so it is scary to actually talk to them about these things openly, right? Because they may not like, parents may also not like it to discuss with the children. So what are your thoughts about it? And I think if parents are listening or once they hear it, this recording of our talk later on also, if they're watching this video, then it is important that no matter what age or what generation you belong to, it is important that you talk to your children, and your children should be able to come to you to talk about their problems, not go elsewhere, right? Please, Deepan. Yeah.
द थिंग इज कि इसमें ना व्हाट आई बिलीव इज लाइक, इसमें गलत क्या है? अगर आई एम फेसिंग अ ट्रबल,
Hmm.
अगर मैं अपने पेरेंट्स के पास जाऊं बोलने के लिए कि आई एम सफरिंग दिस ट्रबल एंड आई एम इन दिस प्रॉब्लम,
हम्म,
उस चीज में हाय हल्ला करने वाली कौन सी चीज है? आई हैव नेवर अंडरस्टूड दैट कि आप ये चीज ना, लाइक वो तुम्हारे बच्चे हैं, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे दे आर देयर किड्स। इट इज योर ड्यूटी कि आप उसको मोटिवेट करो टू हैव अ बेटर लाइफ, बिकॉज
yes,
इफ यू डोंट आंसर देम नाउ एंड इफ यू
हम्म,
डोंट आंसर देम पोलाइटली,
हम्म,
कल को दे विल पॉइंट देमसेल्फ कि आई एम अ रॉन्ग पर्सन, जो कि कभी नहीं होना चाहिए।
yes,
कभी,
yes,
लाइक सी मे बी बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी है कि मैं अपने मॉम के साथ नहीं डिस्कस कर सकती, ओनली बिकॉज जनरेशन गैप थोड़ा ज्यादा है। वैसे तो आई टॉक टू माई मॉम अ लॉट अबाउट थिंग्स, बट स्टिल ब्लंटली आई कैन नॉट टॉक, बट आई मेक श्योर कि कोई भी हो, आई नेवर जज देम, वट एवर इट इज, लाइक तुम कुछ भी करो, आई विल नेवर जज यू, बिकॉज अगर मैं जज करूंगी,
हम्म,
टुमारो यू विल नॉट कम टू मी फॉर हेल्प। सो ये जजमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए। पेरेंट्स शुडंट बी लाइक, ओ माई गॉड वाई यू डिड इट, जस्ट लिसन टू देम that why they are suffering this and provide them a support rather than saying that तू तो मेरा बेटा ही नहीं है, तू मेरा मरा मुंह दिखाएगा, this things, you know, this happen, this type of words come. I have heard people saying this, my parents ने मुझे ये बोला, मेरी मॉम ने ये बोला, मैं तो इनको आगे नहीं बता सकता कि क्या हुआ। ये
हम्म,
फियर जब तक होगा तब तक वो सोल्यूशन कभी आएगा ही नहीं। देन
exactly,
अगर सोल्यूशन पेरेंट्स के साथ नहीं आया ना, वील अल्टीमेटली गो फॉर हुकअप्स एंड दिस थिंग्स ऑल्सो। हाइडिंग तो है ही ना लाइफ से, हाइडिंग, वी आर हाइडिंग फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स, वी आर हाइडिंग फ्रॉम द रियलिटी, और फिर हम वही चीज कर रहे हैं जो अल्टीमेटली विल टेक अस टू डेड एंड।
हम्म,
अल्टीमेटली रिजल्ट क्या है? हुकअप्स हो जाए, चाहे वट एवर दैट फ्रेंड्स विद बेनिफिट, उसका एंड रिजल्ट क्या है? एंड
हम्म,
रिजल्ट इज जीरो, नल, कुछ नहीं है। कल को यू विल डिपार्ट, तो उसका वैलिडिटी क्या है? जैसे हम फ्रेंडशिप करते हैं, फ्रेंडशिप क्यों करते हैं? ताकि वो लाइफ लॉन्ग टिके, वी ट्राई टू कीप
yes,
इट फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ। तो
yes,
वैसे ही रिलेशनशिप का अगर यही है, फ्रेंड्स विद बेनिफिट्स, तो एंड में जाके क्या होगा?
हम्म,
तो वो
exactly,
चीज घर से ही शुरू होनी चाहिए
हम्म,
कि आप अपने बच्चों के साथ टॉक करो,
हम्म,
ताकि ये कल को जाके ये सारी चीजें ना करें। उनको समझाओ कि ये चीज गलत है, ये चीज
हम्म,
सही है, ये चीज नहीं करना चाहिए। वट एवर
हम्म,
हैपेंस, यू शुड नेवर हर्ट एनीवन। किसी के साथ भी, नोबडी इज अ टॉय, कोई खिलौना नहीं है।
हम्म,
इसीलिए कभी किसी को खिलौने की तरह ट्रीट भी मत करो, एंड खुद को भी मत होने दो खिलौने की तरह ट्रीट। तो वो घर से ही स्टार्ट होनी चाहिए।
बिल्कुल। तो one question, Deepanwita, as we are Indians and ये वैसे वर्ल्ड वाइड थिंग है that women have been treated fairly, right? Throughout comparison होता है, household में भी comparison होता है, boy and girl are differentiated, right? कभी ऐसा लगा टू यू पर्सनली, कभी ऐसा लगा कि आई एम एजुकेटेड नाउ, आई एम इक्वलेंट टू अ बॉय, एंड उसके वजह से अब अगेन बॉयज को तो भाई छोड़ दिया जाता है, जैसे एक पूर्व मंत्री जी ने भी, मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट ने कहा था, लड़कों से गलती हो जाती है, राइट? तो किसी ने उनको पार्लियामेंट से निकाल के बाहर नहीं फेंका, एंड नोबडी सेज कि लड़कियों से गलती हो जाती है, राइट? ये भी एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है। क्या कभी ऐसा लगा कि भाई लड़कों को ये सारी छूट क्यों है, आई कैन ऑल्सो डू दैट, आई कैन ऑल्सो डू दैट, एंड कभी ऐसा फ्रस्ट्रेशन या ऐसा कुछ क्वेश्चन, सवाल दिमाग में आया? डिड यू एवर फेल्ट दैट?
इन माई लाइफ आई विल से कि मैं बहुत लकी हूँ कि मुझे ऐसी चीज कभी सफर करनी नहीं पड़ी जहाँ मुझे किसी ने ये चीज बोला है कि तुम तो लड़की हो, तुम नहीं कर सकती। इवन इन माई प्रोफेशन किसी ने आज तक मुझे ये नहीं बोला कि मैं तो तुम्हें ये काम नहीं दूंगा बिकॉज वो बेटर कर सकता है, तो यू आर अ वुमन, यू कैन नॉट डू। बट
यस,
काफी चीजें मुझे ऐसी लगती है कि हमें compete नहीं करना चाहिए लड़कों से, या लड़कों को लड़कियों से compete नहीं करना चाहिए। कंपटीशन किस बात का?
बिल्कुल,
वो men have their own things to do in life, women have their own। अगर मुझे काम करना है, काम करना है, मुझे अगर घर में रहना है, घर में रहना है, मुझे दोनों चीज करना है कि नहीं, मुझे बच्चे भी संभालने हैं, काम भी करना है, तो ये सारी चीजें कंपेयर में नहीं आनी चाहिए कि अच्छा ये ऐसा कर रहा है तो मुझे लड़के से कंपटीशन के लिए करना चाहिए। नहीं, आप वो करो जो आपको अच्छा लगता है। ये कंपटीशन जब होगा ना, वो वहां पे फ्रस्ट्रेशन ऑलरेडी होगा कि नहीं, मुझे इससे देखो, एक लेवल पे होना चाहिए, बट वो नेगेटिवली नहीं होना चाहिए अपने अंदर कि अच्छा इसने ये किया, अच्छा इसको ये बेनिफिट मिला बिकॉज ही इज अ मैन। अगर ये सारी चीज हमारे थॉट प्रोसेस में रहेगी तो हम आगे के जनरेशन को भी यही चीज बोलेंगे कि नहीं भाई, मैन के साथ हमें बेसिकली ये बोला जाता है, कई बार लड़कियों को मैंने ये सुना है कि मैंने अपनी बेटी को एक लड़के की तरह पाला है। क्यों? वाई आर यू सेइंग दिस? तुमने उसको लड़की की तरह पाला है, वो लड़की है, तुम उसको
हाँ।
लड़का नहीं बना सकते। कोई तुमने
यस।
लड़की की तरह नहीं, इफ यू आर एडुकेटिंग दैट पर्सन और वो लड़की जॉब करने जा रही है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो लड़का है।
हाँ।
और अगर एक लड़का घर में सफाई कर रहा है, बर्तन धो रहा है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो लड़की है। ये थॉट्स
एग्जैक्टली।
हमें कभी नहीं देना चाहिए।
यस।
दिस इज कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग बिकॉज तुम उस लड़के को अपने मॉम को हेल्प करने से रोक रहे हो। इफ यू आर सेइंग कि अच्छा मम्मी के साथ यार बर्तन बर्तन धो रहे हो, तुम तो
हाँ।
लड़की होते जा रहे हो। ये
यस।
चीज नहीं बोलनी चाहिए बिकॉज
बिल्कुल।
अल्टीमेटली तुम अपने मॉम को हार्म, अपने मतलब वाइफ को यू आर हार्मिंग दैट वुमन। और अपने बेटे को भी यही सिखा रहे हो कि आगे जाके इफ यू हैव अ वाइफ डोंट हेल्प हर,
यस।
उसको और टॉर्चर करो।
बिल्कुल एग्जैक्टली
ये
दैट्स
थॉट, ये सारी
इट।
चीजें नहीं होना चाहिए।
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। So let's come to the last portion and last part, and we'll wind up this thing. Now, once you've been hurt, you have gone through grieving, and you're now trying to keep your trying to get your life back. Now, the last part you have mentioned about embracing life, right? Accept and start afresh. Last two chapters you were talking about that. So about new beginning, right? Uh, tell us about it. That how did you embrace yourself? How did you come to that thought process?
मुझे बहुत टाइम लगा, लाइक बहुत टाइम लगा एंड वो अभी भी कम बैक करती है चीजें। जब काफी बार मैं जैसे इवन इफ आई एम राइटिंग इन माई बुक कि ऐसा मत करो, आई एम
Hmm.
ऑल्सो ह्यूमन, मेरे साथ भी सिचुएशन होती है कि मुझे लगता है कि अच्छा ये चीज ऐसे कर रहा है, इसका मतलब ओ माय गॉड दिस पर्सन इज ऑल्सो लाइक द सेम आई हैव सफर्ड इन माई पास्ट। बट
Hmm.
ये चीज फिर आई स्टॉप माई सेल्फ कि नहीं, दिस इज अगेन आई एम ओवर थिंकिंग।
Hmm.
तो टाइम लगती है ऑफ कोर्स बिकॉज अगर आप कोई ब्लॉकेज अपने लाइफ पे सफर कर रहे हो एंड यू हैव दैट एक्सपीरियंस, तो आप लोगों को ट्रस्ट करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है आगे। बट यस आई हैव स्टार्टेड अ फ्रेश कि हाँ काम करना है, बुक लिखना है, सारी चीजें पॉजिटिवली लेना है लाइफ में। वो
Yes.
सारी चीजें आई हैव थॉट कई बार कम बैक करती है, कम
Hmm.
बैक करेगी भी। आई विल
Exactly.
टेल दिस टू पीपल ऑल्सो कि
Yes.
अगर कम बैक करती है वो सारी चीजें,
Hmm.
वट एवर इट इज, अगर वो बैड, चाहे वो फ्रेंडशिप हो रिलेशनशिप हो, अगर वो सारी चीजें जो नेगेटिवली हमें इफेक्ट करती है वो कम बैक करती है, उसको डिनाई मत करो कि
Yes.
नहीं अब तो मैं स्टार्ट अफ्रेश कर चुकी हूँ, अब ये चीज मेरे दिमाग में आ रही है, मुझे लगता है आई एम फॉलिंग अपार्ट। नहीं,
हाँ,
ये चीज नहीं सोचना है। उस चीज को
बिल्कुल।
एक्सेप्ट करो कि
Hmm.
यस हो रहा है, कोई बात नहीं। स्पेस दो अपने आप को, टाइम दो, एंड देन जब तुम्हें लगे कि नहीं ठीक है, देन अगेन स्टैंड अप एंड मूव फॉरवर्ड। ये नहीं करना है कि भाई हॉल्ट में ही चले गए, बिल्कुल ही बैठ ही गए, नहीं मैं तो कभी रिकवर कर ही नहीं सकती। ये थॉट आती है बट दिस इज नॉट ट्रू।
Hmm.
ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि जैसे चोट लगती है वो सूख जाता है, पेन भी होता है वो चला जाता है, बट अब कभी भूलते नहीं है कि यहाँ पे हमें कट मिला था। वो
Yes.
हमेशा याद रखना है कि चोट मिली थी।
Yes.
बट हाँ ऑब्वियस सी बात है, एक बार रिकवर हो जाए तो उसको बार बार नहीं खुरेदना है।
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली। और एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा, आपने दो गाइस इस बुक में, इट इज रिटन इन फेमिनिन वॉइस, मगर ये सबके लिए अप्लाई है। इवन इफ यू आर अ मेल हु हैज बीन डिस्ड और इज हार्ट ब्रोकन, ये आपके लिए भी अप्लाई करती है। द प्रोसेस जो यहाँ पे दीपनविता हैज एक्सप्लेन इन अ बुक, you can read it in her book and it is available on Amazon and various other platform. हम लिंक जो है हमारे इसमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में भी शेयर कर देंगे, and you can even ask Deepanwita to give you the signed copy by author. You can directly DM her for that also. And Deepanwita, thank you so much today to you enlightened us about relationship and how you have kept yourself strong during those times, tough times that most of the people actually fall apart, and you have done something productive And I read it in the book also that while you were writing it, right, you want to do something productive while you were going through the building up stage of your life, right? Wonderfully done, and all the very best for this book of yours. And I know it will help quite a lot of people, especially the younger generation. All the very best once again, and thank you so much for today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.